Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Over the past couple weeks, I've been seeing new indie titles pop up in my Twitter feed lately. And man, some of these games just look incredible. And some of them have been, in development for quite some time. I'm just now seeing these awesome looking games. So I thought, what the heck? I might as well compile a list of indie games that stood out to me personally. Now this isn't every single indie game because that would be literally impossible. But these are the ones that stuck out to me personally. And heck, I'm probably missing some that I'm still interested in. There's just so many indie games out there that it's hard to list them all. I just want to compile a list of some of my favorite ones that I've seen so far. Some of these just look so fantastic and some of them sound fantastic. So with that said, let's get on to the first game. A Frog's Tale. A Frog's Tale looks so dang charming, dude. Look at this game. Oddly enough, the games that inspired A Frog's Tale were games like Mario Luigi Superstar Saga, Tales of Symphonia, Kingdom Hearts. Like, what the heck? This is a weird collection of games to be inspired by, but I kinda love it. Obviously, those inspirations has to do with the visual style, the music in the game, and the gameplay as a whole, because when you look at the combat in this game, you can definitely tell that they were heavily inspired by the Mario and Luigi series back on the Game Boy Advance and DS. A Frog's Tale is essentially an RPG with some musical rhythm aspects that are added to the gameplay to make it more unique than other RPGs out there. The combat is turn-based with a unique rhythm mechanic where you have to time your button inputs to the beat of the music. Like I said before, this plays a lot like the Mario and Luigi series, but adds a rhythm twist to it all. Even in the overworld, the music goes along with what's happening on screen. The pixel art looks like it was straight out of the SNES or GBA era of games. Along with the art style, the animation is just unbelievable. It's so well done when the frog is like jumping around, which is also a cool thing to note. You can actually jump around and there's like some platforming elements in this game, which is unusual for an RPG, unless you're Mario and Luigi. But man, this is so cool to add this in. And like I said, the animations for jumping, for moving, for hitting, man, they're just so crisp. I love the visual design of this game. In A Frog's Tale, you play as a frog named Norman, who lives in a quiet forest village. And of course, like with every RPG, something goes wrong in this quiet village. You're then set off on a grand adventure with a colorful cast of party members. And each party member is a different kind of animal, which I really love. It makes them distinct from one another. Like you have a turtle, a bat, a penguin, it seems like, a cat. Like, you have a very colorful cast here. And honestly, I wonder how the party system is going to be in this game. Like, there's obviously a party here you can see in the gameplay, but it only seems like there's 2 at a time for the party. Maybe it can increase as development of this game goes along, but the cast that has been shown off so far has been a pretty good one, honestly. There's loads to look forward to when it comes to this game, and honestly, I just want to play this game now. Unfortunately, that might not happen for a while. You see, A Frog's Tale is set to release in the year 2023, which is only a year away, but their Kickstarter is for the demo of the game. I'm still a little confused on that.
12 seconds later.
So I actually looked into it on their Kickstarter page. It's a little confusing, but I was reading the comments on Kickstarter, and essentially, from what I get, is that the Kickstarter is there. It's there for the demo of the game. And if they can make the demo of the game, they can get a publishing partner. And with that publishing partner, that can help them get the resources that they need to finish out the game. So what I'm getting is that this game can be done in 2023, and the Kickstarter is there for the demo so that they can possibly get a publishing partner, which this game looks amazing. I really think that they can easily get a publishing partner just with this alone. I mean, obviously I don't know the ins and out of how to get a publisher for your game, but if they are able to make this demo as good as they make just this 2-minute trailer, yeah, they're probably going to get a publishing partner. Hopefully they can get a publishing partner so that they can get all the resources that the devs need to finish out this game. Up next, we have Crowworn, and by the looks of Crowworn, if you know me at all, I think you know why I'm interested in Crowworn. Now, for those that don't know, Crowworn is heavily inspired by games like Hollow Knight, Bloodborne, and Devil May Cry, which, I mean, Devil May Cry is cool. I've never played Bloodborne. Hollow Knight is one of my favorite games, so yeah, I'm so stoked for this. And when you look at the gameplay, yeah, you can definitely tell it's heavily inspired by Hollow Knight at the very least. Crowworn is an action-packed Metroidvania, in the same vein as Hollow Knight, like I said before. But what really makes this game stand out is the design of the world and characters. Like, this is definitely Bloodborne inspired in terms of visual design. Like, the main character is straight up a plague doctor, and he looks amazing. Like, this is a main character design I can get behind. With the visual style, you also have the tone, and the tone is a little different also from Hollow Knight, and I'll stop the comparison from Hollow Knight now, but I love the tone of this game. It's this like dark, oppressive looking world. I love the dreary colors and the light, how it's like, you know, it doesn't quite light up everything, and it's in the background and just shines through, and oh my goodness, this game looks incredible. The weapons that you can use are a scythe, pistols, which is interesting, and of course you got magic. The pistols is an interesting weapon to bring into this game. According to the Kickstarter website, you can actually reload at no cost. But of course, when you reload, you stop for a period of time and you gotta reload your gun. And so it might not be the best course of action to do that in combat. The fact that you can bring in pistols at all, shooting them at a long range, would really make these fights a bit more bearable. But of course, you have to go and reload, and that probably takes a while, so there you go. I really love the art style of this game. Normally, I'm not really into dark fantasy worlds, but this looks really cool. I love how fast the gameplay is. I love the little platforming challenges that they have in the game, or at least what I can tell. It's hard to talk about these games when you're not actually playing the games, but I cannot wait for this. This and A Frog Story, I cannot wait for this. For those of you that are interested in games like Hollow Knight, Bloodborne, and Devil May Cry, this is a game that should be on your radar. Unfortunately, the game doesn't have a release date. It doesn't even have a release year. So we might be waiting on this one for quite some time. So go ahead and buckle in because it's going to be probably a long wait. But on a more positive note, the game already looks stunning. So honestly, we're just waiting for what appears to be a good game. And with other indie games like this coming out really soon, yeah, I got enough on my plate. But that doesn't mean I'm not excited for this game. Ho ho, no sir. I cannot wait for this game. And if you're a fan of Metroidvanias, you should be adding this to your list. Sacrifier or Sacrifier is also a game that I've had my eyes on Twitter for quite some time. The combination of 3D graphics and pixel art styles combining together makes for a gorgeous looking game. I love the fact that this game is an Octopath looking game while also having its own fresh, unique looking identity. The art style and animations are just so gorgeous here. I love the attack animations. They're so flashy and stylistic. Which, speaking of attacking, I'm not really too sure on the combat just yet. According to Steam, the combat is a blend of real-time and turn-based styles, which I'm a little confused on. Like, I don't know what's going on in terms of the UI around here, but the game looks really cool. I'm a little confused on what the combat is going for. However, that's not to say that the combat doesn't look good. I just don't know what's going on. Like I said though, the combat looks so flashy. I love these attack animations. And the effects to go along with the attacks look stunning. Sacrifier or Sacrifier, I still don't know how to say it, will take place in a world where both fantasy and science fiction coexist. You'll be traversing gorgeous landscapes while also exploring bustling cities, which, can we stop and talk about how many NPCs are on the screen? Like in terms of like RPGs coming out with this, style of pixel art and all that, I find it very unique to see this much going on the screen. I love seeing this town just filled to the brim with all these NPCs. In terms of gameplay, of course, there's the combat, exploration, and all that, but you're also going to be solving puzzles while also traversing dungeons. Still don't know if I'm going to pick it up day one, but it definitely is on my radar. So if you're a fan of JRPGs and you're wanting something a little bit more modern, a little bit more new, but still retain those old JRPG aspects, then Sacrifier might be up your alley. Up next is Sea of Stars, and I've talked about this game a ton, so I won't dive in too much on this one. You can check out my other videos regarding Sea of Stars. But to give you a little background, Sea of Stars is a turn-based RPG inspired by classic RPGs like Chrono Trigger. The story follows two kids of the solstice. One has sun powers, the other has moon powers, and together they make for one powerful team. You'll be traveling this gorgeous world while also building up your party of teammates. The pixel art is stunning, the music fantastic. Sabotage Studio, the developer behind this game, also did The Messenger, which if you haven't played The Messenger, go play it. It's really fun. It's kind of like a Ninja Gaiden inspired Metroidvania-ish game. There's more to explain about that game, but essentially they're the same developers behind that game, and that game's pretty good. So I really trust this team on whatever they make. And the fact that they're making an RPG inspired by Chrono Trigger is just so cool, man. And this game looks fantastic. I cannot wait to play this game. Up next, we have Mina, the Hollower. Goodness, this game looks fantastic. The art style is heavily inspired by Link's Awakening, with the theme of Castlevania sprinkled in there. You take control as Mina, this cute little mouse with a whip, and you go and explore this cursed island. You have all these different tools at your disposal. You can bury in the ground, throw axes, whip your enemies. There's just so much to look forward to in this game. Combining elements from both Metroidvanias and adventure games like Zelda, oh my goodness. And you add the fact that this pixel art looks just stunning, man. It looks like it's straight off the Game Boy Color. I love the art style here, and I'm so excited to play this game. The developer, Yacht Club Games, if you're not aware, developed games like, Shovel Knight. So yeah, putting this in an indie list that's, has some indie games that are not as well known as Hollow Knight is a bit weird, but I wanted to give this game a shout out because, man, I just can't wait to play this game. Framemakers is Smash Brothers, but with indie game characters. Do I need to say more about this game? Of course I do. Framemakers is a platform fighter, like Smash Brothers, but instead of Nintendo characters or video game characters or PlayStation characters or Nickelodeon characters or Warner Brothers characters, which just adds anyone they can think of in, this has a focus on indie characters, which is so incredibly awesome. Giving these characters a game to duke it out in is just so cool to see. It's not just a Smash clone. It also adds some really cool features in there, like the ability to call on assist, kind of like assist trophies, but instead it adds to your moveset, which is very creative and just adds a level of depth that I wasn't expecting out of this game. So not only do you get to play as a wide variety of these classic indie characters, but you also get to add in these extra assists that are also indie game characters to help you in combat, which is, it's not quite character level, like an actual fighter in the game, but they still help you in combat, and they're used not like assist trophies, but more so a part of your moveset, which is so cool to see. Not only that, but you can also create and play custom characters, stages, modes, and whatever else you can think of. This game was made to be customizable. I don't know if it will be like that on all platforms, but definitely on PC. It is coming out to other platforms, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, this game is a day one purchase easily. Plus, for those in the know, the team behind Super Smash Flash and Super Smash Flash 2, if you know, you know, they're actually behind the development of this game. I don't know if it's the exact same people, but it's the exact same company name. Man, to see these guys come back and make a full-fledged game, obviously what they made in the past were games as well, but, you know, this to actually sell and be profitable, heck yeah, dude. I am so excited for them, and I'm just excited for this team. I really hope this does well for them because this just looks so lovingly crafted. Up next is Planet of Lana, which stars a young girl and her loyal, cute little friend, and they embark on this beautiful looking planet. Like, look at this. Colors are just so vibrant, and I love the sci-fi theme scattered throughout the gameplay trailer. The gameplay looks to be like a Limbo type, you know, platformer with some puzzle elements, but man, this just looks gorgeous. Honestly, this is probably just one of those games that I'm gonna get just on the visuals alone. That's my biggest hook about this game. While I'm not too big into the Limbo style of games, and I'm not saying that this game will play just like that, but the art style, the animations, just how this world looks, this is hands down one of the best looking indie games that's coming out. And last we have the Plucky Squire, which, fun fact, the art director behind Pokemon Sword and Shield is behind the Plucky Squire, which is incredible because look at this game. This game starts out in a storybook, you know, with these beautiful hand-drawn 2D animations with a wide variety of gameplay mechanics. You know, like there's this scene where it looks like a punch-out fight, and then there's other scenes where it looks like it's, you know, like a little adventure. And then it comes to find out that you can actually explore outside of this book. You can explore the room that the book is inside of. There's so much to go over here that I can't quite do it justice. You got 2D side-scrolling sections. You got Link's Awakening looking combat. And then you can do like a little level on this coffee mug. Oh my goodness. Such an imaginative world on display here. The Plucky Squire looks to be such an enthralling, gorgeous looking game. Hopefully the different variations in gameplay isn't too overwhelming. I have a fear that that might be the case. You know, it doesn't settle on one gameplay variation for too long and it just moves on to the next, which can be cool, but that kind of worries me. I hope there's a good amount of time dedicated to each gameplay section. And honestly, I still don't really know how this game is going to be played. Are these different sections part of the main story, or is it like side content? I'm not sure, but man, does this game look great, both 2D and 3D. This is definitely up on my list. And that's it. That's my list. Don't get me wrong, there's other games out there that I'm interested in terms of indie games that I just couldn't quite make it on here. Whether I forgot about them because I don't have a list of indie games to look out for because a lot of them are in the early development stage. And so they have little clips here and there, which, you know, gets me interested in the game, but they don't have like reveal trailers or anything like that just yet. They just have, you know, clips of the development process that they're going through, which is cool, which I love to see. But it's really hard to talk about those games in particular too much because there's just not a lot to go off of. So yeah, let me know down below what indie games you're excited about. I love indie games. The creativity that they bring to the video game industry is unreal. Some of my favorite games of all time are indie games. And while I am mixed on the whole indie title, you know, describing a game as indie rather than just a video game, I'm still a little torn on, but honestly, when I hear the word indie, I get excited. Because the amount of creativity that goes into an indie game, it's something else, man. It's just so exciting to be an indie game fan. There's so much to dig into with these games. So yeah, let me know down below what you're excited for. And this could be anything. It could be just games in general. What are you excited for that's coming up, whether it's this year or next year? Thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. God bless.